this morning in help with the reception, and I hope that all of you will stay for the ceremonial unveiling of a replica marker in the hall downstairs and for lunch with us. This is a special day, most particularly for the Lacks family, and I will come back and talk about the Lacks family in a moment, but it's also a special day for this community, the Commonwealth of Virginia, and for the nation. Because today we have an opportunity to formally recognize, officially recognize the life and legacy of Henrietta Lacks. You know, it's shocking to me that it took so long for Henrietta's legacy to become widely known. We owe a huge debt of gratitude to this one woman and to her family. We also owe a debt of gratitude to Rebecca Skloot, who published this book, working very closely with Henrietta's late daughter, Dorothy, to bring the story of Henrietta, the enormous scientific advances as a result of the Gila line, and the struggle of the family, and really all of us, to come to terms with the large and troubling questions that we're left with as a part of that story. So we do owe thanks to Rebecca Skloot for her partnership with Deborah and her partnership with the family. I do want to say that of all the people here, and there are dignitaries among us, the most important people here are the tangible legacies of Henrietta Pleasant's Lacks, and those are the members of her family. We are joined today by two of her sons, Sonny and Zachariah, by children and great-grandchildren, grandchildren and great-grandchildren, by cousins, and I would like to ask you all to stand and be recognized for your role in this enormous in readily available reference books that highlight the events of 1951, 60 years ago. And those books talk about things like the invention of the first color television, the first coast-to-coast telephone pole, the ramping up of the Cold War with the announcement that Soviet Russia had tested and had developed and tested an atomic bomb. Nowhere in those references was a mention of Henrietta Lacks. And yet that year literally marks a point, I believe, at which modern medicine as we know it begins. Now, you will hear more about that from our guest speaker in a moment, but I just want to note and place into context again how much we owe to both Henrietta and to Rebecca for the enormous efforts to bring the story of the impact of the HeLa cells to our attention, as well as those difficult questions. At this time, I'd like to ask Clarice Buster to come to the podium. Clarice is someone who is known to many people in this community. She is the vice chairman